In this video, we're going to cover our top 5 silent switches. Our first switch today comes from TTC, a fairly under-the-radar switch manufacturer, but they have been pumping out some seriously impressive products. The one we have today, the Silent Frozen switches, are no exception. Let's start off with the basics. These Silent Frozens are linear switches, a category beloved by typists and gamers alike for their smooth, consistent action. When you press down on one of these switches, there's a certain cushioning to the feel. It's difficult to describe exactly, but it's neither gummy nor mushy, it's just comfortable. Now, if you're someone who's into Tobra keyboards, like the HHKV or Realforce, these Silent Frozen switches might just warrant closer inspection. In particular, the sound is probably the closest I've found to that unique Tobra sound signature. What's fascinating about these switches is their responsiveness. TTC has incorporated an extended spring length, which just ramps up to the reactivity. And these aren't heavy switches, not by a long shot. They lean towards the lighter side of the spectrum. Combine that extended spring with its lightweight design, and you're left with an incredibly breezy typing experience. It's responsive, it's bouncy, it's light, and it just feels good to type on. If you're planning on using your keyboard for extended periods, whether it's an all-night gaming session or a marathon coding run, these Silent Frozens are a game changer. They're comfortable, reliable, and they can make those long hours a whole lot more enjoyable. Alright, now let's jump straight into another switch from TTC, the Silent Bluish whites. But these aren't linear switches, they're tactile. Now, when you think tactile, you might be thinking of some serious heavy feedback. That's not the case here. The tactility is actually rather subdued. It's not too intense. It's the kind of comfortable, mild tactility that I've found myself really enjoying over time. Now, in terms of weight, these Silent Bluish whites follow the same playbook as the Silent Frozens. They're on the lighter side, making for a breezy typing experience that should keep your fingers happy, even during those extended typing sessions. When it comes to sound, think of a gentle rain tapping against a window. It's a soft, almost therapeutic sound, the kind that just fades into the background without ever being intrusive. So, if you're hunting for a tactile switch that offers a light, comfortable typing experience and a sound that's as soothing as a light rainfall, these Silent Bluish whites are worth checking out. But we're now going to shift gears a bit, enter the Wuque Studio Silent Tactile switches, and these come with a unique twist. Now, most silent switches have a rubber dampener. Here's a rubber dampener on the Silent Frozens we talked about earlier, and here's a dampener on the stem of the switch belonging to the Silent T1s, which, by the way, is a great switch, but I couldn't fit it into this top 5 list today. These dampeners are what softens the impact and reduces noise. However, the Wuque Studio Silent Tactiles have opted for a different route. These switches, they do not have a dampener at all. Instead, the novel silencing mechanism they use are cutouts. In terms of feel, these switches from Wuque Studio do come off as a little stiffer. They're not as stiff as their non-silent counterparts, but there's a tangible difference when you compare them with other silent switches. The bottom-out feel of these switches, in particular, is unique and sets them apart from the crowd. Now, if you're curious to feel and compare these switches with others, I'll drop a link to our try-at-home program in the description below. This allows you to test out different switches side by side and find the one that fits you the best. You can also find this by clicking the Try Home button on any of the switch pages on Milktooth. Remember, everyone's preference can differ when it comes to keyboard switches. What might feel great for one person might not necessarily be the best for another. So I'd highly recommend trying out different switches yourself to find the one that matches your typing style and comfort. Now, taking a slight detour from our silent switch route, we have the Aqua Kings. You might be wondering why I've included a non-silent switch in this top 5 silent switches roundup. Well, while these aren't explicitly labeled as silent switches, they are, in reality, pretty quiet. So, for those of you who might have a slightly higher tolerance for noise, this could be your switch. The reason being, the Aqua Kings are the epitome of silky smoothness. To me, they've been factory lubed to perfection. The feel of the keystrokes here reminds me of gliding across an ice rink. Frictionless, fluid, and satisfying. As for the sound profile, it's bassy, but not in an overbearing or hard-hitting way. It's a quieter, more subdued bass that isn't going to bother anyone around you. So even though the Aqua Kings aren't explicitly silent switches, they are, for all intents and purposes, sufficiently quiet. If you value an ultra-smooth typing experience and don't want to completely sacrifice the auditory feedback, then don't overlook the Aqua Kings. It's a unique blend of quiet and quality that's pretty hard to find. And now, for my overall favorite silent switch, we're going to talk about Gazzew. Gazzew has created some of the most well-liked switches in the history of mechanical keyboards. particularly the U4Ts. The T in U4Ts stands for thockiness, a resonant, deep-pitched sound that has a significant fan base in the keyboard community. But we're not here to talk about the U4Ts. Instead, we're focusing on the U4s, the silent siblings of the U4Ts. In contrast to most switches on the list, the U4s offer a more intense tactile experience. They have a prominent round bump that's akin to the sensation of flicking a light switch. For those who appreciate a more pronounced tactile feedback, these switches are a joy to use. Compared to the silent bluish whites, the U4s provide a more exhilarating tactile feel. While you could forget about the tactility of silent bluish whites when you're in the zone, the U4s will always remind you of their presence. You won't hear anything, but you'll definitely feel the bump. Now let's talk about the texture of the U4s. It's smooth, not in the glossy way that many factory loop switches are. Instead, they have a matte feel, like the difference between a glossy and a matte car finish. They're both smooth, they're just different. It's a unique feel, and it's one that I've grown to really enjoy. So out of all the switches in Gazzew's lineup, the U4s are my absolute favorite. There's just something really special about them. And with that, we've covered my top 5 silent switches of the year. Of course, there are many options out there, each with their own unique characteristics. That's why I'd recommend heading over to our website, where you can filter switches based on features that are most important to you. We offer a wide selection with detailed information on each switch. Plus, we offer the best deals on the market. Our aim is to make mechanical keyboards more approachable for everyone, and we do this through programs like our try-at-home option, a vast product selection, and competitive pricing. So do take a moment to check out our site, link in the description. But if you're interested in more curated picks, check out these 2 videos here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.